Question number 2.
Let's do it.
All right. You talk about the discipline of growing up with your dad being a chief.
Yes, sir.
You talk about the power athlete. I'm going to call you a power athlete. Right? 'Cause, dude, you got some crazy stories.
I got a couple.
Man, you wanted to go fight people. That's not my DNA. I always wanted to have tough friends. So hey, dude, go get that guy.
I wanted to impress my dad, I think, I always wanted my dad to know that even though I was a goofball and got in trouble a lot and did dumb stuff, I wanted him to know that I could be a man and take care of myself. And I think that was my driving force at first. And it became more than that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's really proud of you and for who you've turned into be.
I hope so.
I can tell you that I've never met your dad, but I'm pretty sure he is.
So I'll tell you a great story about my dad since we met at Warrior Rising. So actually, my father. Yeah, go ahead.
I know. I never got to meet him.
Yeah.
I'll never get the chance to meet him.
No. And it's too bad.
But
you met me, and I got a lot of them in me.
I know you carry the name and the honor well.
Thank you.
And you can tell the story if you'd like.
Well, my dad passed away the same day that we were flying to Salt Lake City last year to do Warrior Rising. And I don't know if your viewers probably know, some of them probably know what that is, but it's an entrepreneurial competition for veterans. And you get the opportunity to be in front of amazing people that are successful in business and life. And you get to pitch your stuff to them, and they choose a winner that they give a bunch of money to, and they give a bunch of money to everybody that competes. And we were going up to compete in this big, huge thing. And it was going to be, I thought it was going to be the thing that was going to reshape our brand and put us on top. And we were well prepared. And my dad had a massive stroke and his lungs collapsed. And he was in the hospital for a few days while we were getting ready to go do this competition. And I told my mom, I'm like, I'm just going to stay. I'm not going. And my mom was like, no, you got to go. Your dad is so proud of you. And he would never, he'd be turning in his grave if you didn't go. So they took him off life support the morning we were boarding the plane. And I just dogged it down. And while we were there, I knew that we were not going to win this competition. I just knew it in my heart. I didn't have the energy that I normally have because I was trying not to grieve in any way. I was just trying to not think about it. So I was trying to uplift all of these other competitors. I could see when someone's nervous. I can see when someone's pacing. So I was walking around. I'm like, hey man, what do you do? Oh, we got this wood company, or we got this, this product, and I make coffee, or whatever it was. And I let them tell me their story. I want to hear everybody's story. And by doing that, I was trying to make everybody more comfortable because we were getting ready to do these pitches. And I kept telling everyone that I could, you're the subject expert matter of your thing. You're the only person in your space that's doing this in this way. You get up there and you murder it. Tell your story. Don't be timid. Go kill it. You're the best. And I tried to do that with as many of these people as I could, knowing that if I was uplifting them, at least I was doing something more. Because I just didn't feel like we were going to be in the top tier of these companies. So I made a lot of good connections, and the people at Warrior Rising, I think they noticed what me and Brittany were doing there with the other competitors. And we didn't win, but they have supported us since that day, they order things from us. They raffle stuff off from our company. They invited me back this year to come and set up our shop and sell, which we did great. And they let me speak and before Goggins spoke. And the people that you meet and the people that really uplift you, they're always going to have your back. And Warrior Rising has my back, no doubt.
Yeah, man. I completely agree with you. And you talk about all that discipline that you got in the army and
Mm-hmm.
that character. It's really the character and the grit,
Yes, sir.
right? And um, fortunately or unfortunately, so first off, I'm sorry you lost your dad.
You know what? Thank you. It's
Um,
he's in a good place. I know that. It's again, that's one of those things that shapes your life. When you
yep,
lose one of your parents or you lose your parents, all of all of the lessons that they taught you, like for me anyway, they flooded into my brain. I
yeah,
understood everything my dad ever told me that I didn't want to listen to as a punk kid as soon as I didn't have him. I hear him every day, all day, and it's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. And what's great about this story, Paul, is um, he, he's watching it, he's hearing it, he's seeing it, and um, those that discipline, that the skills that he taught you, and he prepped you for all of this, right?
All of it. Yes, sir.
Right?
He knew what
He
was
gave you
up.
the
Like my dad knew what I was going to endure as a man and how hard life is. And I know how hard life is for sure. And I'm trying to do the same thing with my kids.
yeah, and he gave you the tools to be successful, and so
Yes,
that's
he
one of the
did.
things that I like to talk about on this is the toolkit that you get from the military.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a toolkit in the military; it
Right.
actually
Right.
transcends across everything.
Yes, it
And
does.
there's a big misconception in like corporate world meets military guy or
Mm-hmm.
gal
Mm-hmm.
that the skill sets don't match just
Yeah.
because the job descriptions don't match and just
Yeah.
because all these things don't align. um you know you did all these awesome things and you prepped all these people to do all these things and all that leadership skills, and now you're running your own business, you're managing a P&L, and you're doing all these things. And it's not about like you were ever physically taught those things, but what you were taught was how to lead,
Yes.
right? And
I was taught how to lead, and I was taught to make a decision and do it. Don't think about it. Don't worry about it. If you have something in your heart and you know it's right, you go after it. And my dad used to always tell me, well, it's I have this on a couple of our shirts and stuff. He always told me, like whenever we'd say goodbye or, you know, leave the gym together or whatever, he'd always look at me and say, "Hey, bud, always forward, strong," and he'd just leave. And that's how you have to live life. Like you're gonna get knocked down a million times in life, whether you like it or not. Nobody's perfect. Nobody has all the answers. Nobody's a superhero. There's some
yep,
superhuman people out there, but everybody has trials. Everybody has situations that are hard, and you have to get your ass up and keep going, or you're
yeah,
dead.
you have to keep moving
Yeah,
forward.
you can be
And
alive and still be dead. Like not everyone that lives on this earth really lives to their full potential, and that to me that's a tragedy.
yeah, like I call those oxygen thieves.
Yep, mouth breathers.
Well, I mean, you can still be a mouth breather, like like poor
I'm
people that
kind
have
of
like
a
sleep
I'm
apnea.
kind of a mouth breather sometimes, I guess.
Like my nasal cavity's
I'm
all messed up
sorry,
from all
anyone
that.
out there that breathes out of your mouth. I'm sorry. You might
No,
have
like my
nasal passage issues or something. I don't know.
yeah, I do,
I
but
can't breathe
like
out of my nose at all.
I like it's horrible.
Yeah.
Um, but TMI, too much information, but like the people that really are like leeches on society, those are the oxygen thieves.
100%, bro.
The entitlement of things, where like if there's one thing that the military, I think, taught both of us, it's you got to go get it,
Yeah,
right? And they taught us the importance of, you can be a part of a team and you can rely on people, and that's what I love about this community. I'm like, look, we didn't know each other 2 weeks ago,
sure.
right? And when you want to truly be a part of something amazing, and you want to like, give back to the community, and you want to put others first, there's 1,000 people to your left, there's 1,000 people to your right, and there's
Hmm.
1,000 people behind you. But you
Hmm.
got to have the courage to be a part of the community,
Yep.
and you got to be able to say, how can I help you?
Yep.
And because it'll pay back tenfold, and people
Yep.
will raise their hand to help you.
Yep. You got to
And
know your
so,
role and you got to do it.
yeah, and so it's, how do you bless people with your talents, and then, it pays back. It may not be the same day, the same thing, but it's good karma in, good karma out.
Mhm.
And so, um, you know, I'm a firm believer in that.